I will confuse them to come to the market.
Congratulations to the media. You have done incredible work.
In 10 years, it will shock you what it does.
The Senate observes that PPP has consistently engaged in underhand dealing.
Position,
when your brother is producing something and you patronizing your brother.
Listen to Planet's 101.1 FM news at 7 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. with our news in special English at 2:30 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. Planet Radio 101.1 FM, evolving around you.
It's the news at noon. In the news, President Bola Tinubu to preside over second FEC meeting today. Federal government pledges not to trample on rights and press freedom of citizens. Senate President Godswill Akpabio promises Senate's intervention in Lagos-Ota-Abeokuta road reconstruction. On the foreign scene, Israel, Hamas deny reports of temporary ceasefire. In sports, Nigeria wins first West Africa Cricket Trophy in Lagos State. Details coming up shortly. Good afternoon. Welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Yo, I am Davina Praise Omang. We begin this afternoon with Nigeria's leader, President Bola Tinubu, who will today preside over the second Federal Executive Council meeting. The special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, made this known to State House correspondents. He said that President Tinubu would chair the meeting to be attended by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Chief to Staff to the President, and Ministers. Ngelale said that the second edition of the meeting in the life of the administration would discuss issues concerning approvals given by the President on economic and social matters. Recall that the inaugural meeting was held in August, where new ministers attended to take their first brief on their roles and responsibilities in the Renewed Hope agenda. Meanwhile, the president will also swear in 3 additional ministers into his 48-person cabinet. According to reports, the 3 new ministers will be sworn into office at the council chamber of the State House before the commencement of the Federal Executive Council meeting. The 3 additional ministers to be sworn in are Jamila Bio, Ayodele Olawande, and Balarabe Lawal from Kaduna State. Bayo and Olawande are expected to be sworn in as the Minister of Youth and the Minister of State for Youth. In the meantime, the authorities of the University of Ilorin said President Bola Tinubu, the institution's visitor, will on October 23rd unveil some projects its administration recently completed. The university's Director of Corporate Affairs, Kunle Akogun, disclosed this in a statement, highlighting the institution's combined 37th and 38th convocation ceremonies. He said both the graduates of the 2020 and 2021 and 2021 and 2022 academic sessions will receive their first degrees, postgraduate and degrees and diplomas. Akogun stated that the ceremonies will begin on Friday with a special Jumat service followed by an interdenominational church service on Sunday. Away from that, the federal government has assured Nigerians that it will not trample on people's rights and press freedom in the fight against fake news and disinformation in the country. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, stated this in an interview with newsmen in Abuja. Idris called on Nigerians to always promote the truth and nothing but the truth. He said that fake news should be condemned in all its ramifications. The minister further explained that there are people who are using so many platforms to provide credible information, adding that such is desirable and should be emulated. Meanwhile, the federal government is reassured that the pains being experienced by Nigerians over the recent removal of fuel subsidy will be temporary. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, gave the assurance in an interview with newsmen in Abuja. He explained that it was obvious that the ultimate benefits of the removal of the subsidy would be reaped by the common man. Idris said it was regrettable that only few people were hitherto benefiting from the subsidy administration, adding that the few were enjoying the commonwealth of the entire country at the expense of the majority. The minister recalled that within the first few months of Tinubu's administration, he allocated funds to the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory for palliatives to cushion the effect of subsidy removal, noting that the act was because Tinubu believed that the state governors are people who know their terrains very well. He assured that in the long run, Nigeria will be better. In a separate development, the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and Governor Dapo Abiodun, who are reportedly held in traffic for 3 hours on the dilapidated Lagos-Ota-Abeokuta, have pledged the Senate's support on completion of the road. Speaking at the program, Akpabio said traveling on the road, he experienced firsthand the hardship Nigerians using the road were being subjected to, and promised to give the necessary support to Ogun State to ensure the reconstruction of the road. Senator Akpabio also used the occasion to advise youths in your land and the state as a whole to stay off drugs and fraudulent activities, assuring them that their lives would be better if they stayed clean. Earlier, in his remarks, Abiodun pleaded with the Senate to prevail on the federal government to transfer the reconstruction of the Lagos-Ota-Abeokuta road to the state because of its importance to the socio-economic development of the state. The governor said it took him 3 hours to drive from Abeokuta to Ilaro, noting that efforts made by the state to ensure the transfer of the road did not yield any positive results. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umar Eno, who has urged state citizens in top echelon of the military and other federal government agencies to identify with their home state to familiarize themselves with governance and development needs of the people. The governor, who stated this when he treated the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Lakwaja, and his entourage to a state banquet at Government House Uyo, reiterated that his administration was open to participation by well-meaning indigents and would initiate a periodic convergence of such indigents for the purposes of uniting and moving the state forward.
To thank you so very much for putting our Akwa Ibom sons into your management cadre. When we hear their names, it gives us a sense of belonging, and that's the truth. And we thank you. We trust they will now begin to come home. At the level that they have reached in service, I know that they should begin to be one leg home, one leg in Abuja. And these are the kind of things that will make them have a place when they come back home, the kind of project you're commissioning for one of us. We must thank the Nigerian Army for their cooperation. We must thank you for the great work you have done for our country, Nigeria, to keep the country together and to subordinate to civil authority. We have to thank you. We thank you for the work that you're doing in Akwa Ibom under your leadership too.
Governor Eno used the occasion to celebrate the elevation and return of Tarid Lagbaja to the state as a 3-star general and Nigeria's 23rd Chief of Army Staff, a few years after he had served as Commander 2, Brigade. Uyo describing his visit as homecoming. The governor also commended Major General Uwembasi for the initiative of undertaking an intervention to construct 3 new classroom blocks, renovate staff quarters, provide water and sanitation facilities in a rural school in the state, which were inaugurated by the Lagbaja, describing them as lofty and in line with the intents of his administration's Arise agenda. Earlier, the Chief of Army Staff, who described his reception in the state as warm and exceptional, expressed gratitude to the government and people of Akwa Ibom State for always granting hospitality, and thanked the state government for its enormous support to enhance the operations of the army formation and units in the state amid the sterling developments across the state. General Lagbaja said the Arise agenda and all the initiatives of Governor Umar Eno's administration will go a long way to boost the operation of the army in the Akwa Ibom region and enhance surveillance on water, pledging the commitment of the force to do more.
Your Excellency, I want to start by saying thank you to you and the good people of Akwa Ibom State for the warm reception accorded me and members of my entourage since our arrival in Akwa Ibom State. I also want to appreciate you for totally identifying with the Nigerian Army, the support to 2 Brigade and 6 Battalion, which are our formations and units in Akwa Ibom State. Akwa Ibom will always remain a memorable place to me. In 2019, I came here and I left as a brigade commander at the end of that year. But today, I'm returning back to Akwa Ibom State as the Chief of Army Staff. Your Excellency, I want to thank you especially for your Arise agenda, because through the Arise agenda and the initiatives you are taking to go a long way to enhance the operation of our formations and units.
Government House correspondent Jane Uwa reports that also speaking, Major General Uwembasi of the Nigerian Defense Research and Development Bureau had thanked the government for the warm reception and appreciated the Army boss for initiating the community development program for senior officers in the Army to impact their communities and for granting him approval. In the meantime, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umar Eno has paid a post-election thank you visit to Uyo Senatorial District, where he appreciated the people for the overwhelming support he garnered during his electioneering campaign that culminated in his victory at the March 18, 2023 poll. Addressing the crowd of party supporters who converged in Ikot-Ekwere in Sidubium local government area, Governor Eno expressed appreciation to the political stalwarts and people of the district for having stood beside him and worked for his emergence as governor of the state, and passionately sued for the support of the people to ensure a successful tenure of administration. Governor Eno said that his administration will deploy the Arise agenda model to take development to the hinterland of Uyo local government area by ensuring that it births a signature project as replicated in other senatorial districts of the state, while furthering on the Uyo Development Master Plan. The governor, who assured that his tenure will witness abundance of wealth and development, warned against divisive tendencies, saying it will be counterproductive to the vision of his administration, and craved for the measure of support enjoyed from the district when others held forth the realm of power.
To say to your senatorial district, to say to everyone, thank you so much. Thank you so much, first, having endorsed my candidacy, my aspiration, and standing on your two legs across party lines, want to thank you for standing by one of your own. We have gone round all the senatorial districts to say thank you. Freeway my Karukante Governor Kwaibo. Frinida Memo, and my succeed. Mbo, Yawan Nagaku Yamari Baka Kwaibo, Mamin Karante Governor Gitem Fen, Iriba and Troniri Yameke, Dagana went on Nakpan, Dana went on Naudo, Kenny Yaikaranye, Inampoino Frestereme, Kem Fonabasi, Mempo Yaba.
Earlier, the host and leader of Uyo Senatorial District, Senator F. Young Bob, commended the governor for deeming it necessary to go around to appreciate the districts for supporting him to emerge governor of the state, in line with his promise during the electioneering process, and expressed the delight of the people of the district to receive him as their own, adding that his people were proud of him and pledged to give him maximum support throughout his stay in office. On his part, the Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Kufra Basia Didem, led a session of vote of confidence passed on by Governor Omo Eno, followed by a presentation of symbolic gifts by the leader of Uyo Senatorial District to reaffirm the solidarity of the people with the governor. Government House correspondent Jane Uwa reports that the Secretary to the State Government, Prince Enebong Uwa, in his vote of thanks, pointed out that the governor's gesture of returning to thank his people spoke volumes of his disposition towards the people of Uyo Senatorial District, and therefore called on the people to rally support for the success of the administration. You are listening to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo. Let's take a breather and then bring you more stories from our foreign, sports and entertainment scenes. To stay with us.
Healthy living begins with the choices one makes. Choosing to live healthy is the first step to healthy living. Join us Sundays 1:30 to 2 p.m. for Healthway. Awareness for healthy choices.
Many thanks for staying with us. On the foreign scene, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office and Hamas have denied reports of the temporary ceasefire in Gaza to enable humanitarian aid to come in and foreigners to leave at the Rafah border crossing between Gaza and Egypt. A statement from Netanyahu's office said that there is currently no ceasefire and humanitarian aid in Gaza in return for removing foreigners. Hamas official Izzat el-Reshik also stated that there was no truth to reports about the opening of the Rafah border or temporary ceasefire. In sports, Nigeria's men cricket team, the Yellow Green, completed a clean sweep at the first West African trophy concluded at the Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos by winning all their 10 matches at the event. They routed Rwanda to 17 runs victory, their fourth win over the East African side during the 20-match series that kicked off on Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. Nigeria had qualified for the finals of the West Africa Trophy after winning all her round-robin matches, which included playing Ghana, Sierra Leone and Rwanda. The 10th match was a placement that pitched Nigeria with 18 points against Rwanda, who had the second highest points, 8, from 4 matches. Ghana also had 4 wins but had a lower net run rate. Sierra Leone snatched a 6-wicket win from Ghana in the first match of the closing day of the West Africa Trophy, before Nigeria's clinching of the tournament trophy with her 10th win. On our entertainment scene, popular singer David Adeleke, also known as Davido, has said that he and his wife Chioma were shaking upon finding out they were expecting twins. Recall that the celebrity couple was spotted with their newborn twins for the first time in a video last week. Speaking at the United Masters Select Con event, the timeless crooner said God blessed him with twins the same month his son Ifeanyi died. It's been the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo. But before we go, a recap of the major stories. President Bola Tinubu will today preside over the second Federal Executive Council meeting. The federal government has assured Nigerians that it will not trample on people's rights and press freedom in the fight against fake news and disinformation in the country. The Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and Governor Dapo Abiodun, who are reportedly held in traffic for 3 hours on the dilapidated Lagos-Ota-Abeokuta, have pledged the Senate's support on completion of the road. On the foreign scene, we told you that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office and Hamas have denied reports of a temporary ceasefire in Gaza to enable humanitarian aid to come in and foreigners to leave at the Rafah border crossing between Gaza and Egypt. In sports, reported that Nigeria's men's cricket team, the Yellow Green, completed a clean sweep at the first West African trophy concluded at the Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos by winning all their 10 matches at the event. For comments and coverage of your newsworthy events, call our newsroom on 0812-770-2940. Visit our website on planet101fm.ng and follow us on X at planet_101fm. Also like our Facebook page at planet101fm Uyo. The news was edited by Jane Uwa. As we end the news, please visit the nearest police station with any useful information that would aid the swift freedom of corps members still held in captivity. I am Davina Praise Omang.